Now, for most people, keeping pets as reptiles is pretty much the extent on what they want to do, you know, just having a few reptiles around, taking care of them, that's all they want. But for others, that's just not enough. They want to move in a little bit more. They want to breed some reptiles, maybe a pair or two, get some babies, maybe sell some babies, let the hobby pay for itself. However, then there are some people that want to take that one step further and create their own reptile business. And for most people that do want to take their collection and turn it into an actual business, you're probably like me who had zero business experience when getting into this. So I wanted to take today and give you guys some tips and tricks when starting your own reptile business. Really what you need to do, a lot of the financial part and things like that. Pretty technical video today, not one of those fun ones, but it is going to be educational and maybe it'll help you start your own reptile business and be a cool kid like me. So with all that being said, I guess it's time to sit back, relax, dive into some reptile business tips, and roll the intro. And kicking off this list, we are going to be starting with topic number 1, choosing your niche. Now, what I mean by choosing your niche is going to be pretty much how you're going to want to structure your business. There are pretty much 2 ways to go about this. You can either, number 1, be known for one specific thing and build on that specific thing, whether that be ball pythons, crested geckos, tokay geckos, blue-tongued skinks, whatever. Just having those one reptiles and building on top of that collection, being known for the X reptile is really one way to go. Second route you can take is doing one like me, being known for a couple different things, having a couple different breeding projects. Obviously here at DBCV's Lives, we have a pretty multitude of things, tokay geckos, ball pythons, monitor lizards, gargoyle geckos. The problem with route number 2 is sometimes you forget all of the breeding projects you have. There are definitely pros and cons to either side, and let's get a little bit into it. Going in route number 1, being known for just one specific thing. Now, while you can really hone in those things, really get everything down the husbandry, the breeding cycle, getting probably more eggs than I would personally, doing a multitude or variety of different things. However, you box yourself into one specific thing. Let's take tokay geckos for instance. Now, while I'm really known for my tokay geckos, not everyone wants a tokay gecko. That's just the reality of it. It's actually, I'm really surprised at how many tokay geckos I sold. I thought that would be an uphill battle. This is really like a passion project of mine. Not really good for business, but something I have a lot of fun with. And so with that being said, now granted, I do have a lot of tokays, and if I specifically did tokays, I'd probably have more tokays, have more eggs, have more babies. However, I'd be boxing myself in, and then for the people that really aren't into tokays and maybe want a snake, maybe want an actual lizard, not a gecko, kind of out of luck because all I'm doing is tokay geckos. Oh, Chinese cave geckos, those two, that's a new project. Well, with going route number 2, the one I personally went with, you have a lot more versatility. You can have a larger group of audience or a larger group of customers coming in, wanting X amount of reptiles. Maybe they want tokays, but they want a crested gecko. Maybe they don't want geckos, but they do want a snake. Maybe they're into the larger monitor lizards. I can provide all of that to my customers. However, while I can get a more variety of customers and more customers in than going with route number 1, there are definitely some drawbacks to this one. Number 1, it's a bit more difficult to hone your skills and get everything 100% perfect and maybe doing it a little bit better to get better clutches, things like that. It's harder to hone that in when you're doing tokay geckos, crested geckos, ball pythons. You're kind of all over the place, and it's a little bit difficult to get everything, you know, that 110%. Second drawback to that is the fact that it's a lot more time consuming. It would be a hell of a lot easier if I had, let's say, 40 or 50 ball pythons and I'm just doing ball pythons, just cleaning rack systems, feeding ball pythons, things like that. But that's not the case. While I'm doing that, I'm also giving crickets to tokay geckos, giving food to the crested geckos, changing paper towels for crested geckos, spot cleaning for the tokay geckos, making sure my monitor lizards are good. All of this stuff takes a lot more time than it would be just doing one specific thing. But moving on, let's get into topic number 2, which is going to be choosing passion versus business. Now you see it all over the Facebook groups. People want to start a breeding project and they're like, what reptiles should I breed? I want to breed reptiles, which number 1, I never understood the fact like you just want to breed reptiles to breed reptiles. That seems a little bit silly. However, most of the comments are like, breed what you love and then the money will come. Do what your passion is and the money's gonna come after that. looking at a technical standpoint, that's not the case. Some stuff is definitely more profitable, more marketable than others. Let's do some quick snake math and talk about passion versus business. Number one, tokay geckos, a great example. I have, I believe, 20 tokay geckos right now, and I get a multitude of eggs, so we'll do the math a little bit on this. I spend around $80 in crickets. The majority does go to the tokays, however, I do have a couple of other animals that get the crickets, but so we'll say $60 twice a month for crickets. With that being said, it's $60 too, so it's $120 times 12 months. I'm looking at around $10,000, give or take. Some I get a little bit more, some I get a little bit less at that point, so we'll talk about a 10 grand for the feeder costs annually. So we're $10,000 in debt right now for the year. Of course, we got to get some enclosures. 20 gallons are really the best thing. Glass is the best for breeders. I sometimes put my males in bins because my males are constantly cycling to my females, so they're not really in bins for too long. With that being said, so with all these tokay geckos, let's say we go to Petco, we get the $1 per gallon sale. So we get them for 20 bucks. $20 times 10 is 200. Times 10. Yes, 200. Yeah, I was right. Plus all the decorations, substrate you're gonna need, things of that nature. Let's call it an even $500 for all the tokay geckos. So now we are $10,500 in debt for the year. With these tokay geckos, I am slightly male heavy. Let's do a little count. I have 1 female, 2 females, 3 females, 4 females, 5 females. I have 5 females right now that are breeding and laying eggs. Now with tokay geckos, you really don't want to breed them past 2 clutches. You really want the female to retain as much calcium and fat as she can. Breeding really takes it out. So I'll get 4 eggs times 5, that's 20 eggs, and so on. Okay, so 20 eggs times around the base price of $100 for normals, 300 to 500 for some of the specials. Let's say we have 5 that are specials, 500, that is 220. Oh my god, I need a calculator. Fuck it, I'm using a calculator for this. Okay, so we have 5 geckos that are going for $500, right? So that is 500 times 5, we got 2,500. Let's say we got a few, let's say we've got like 8 that are for 300. So then we have 300 times 8 plus 2,500. So that's 4,900, and then the rest are normal. So what did I say? That's 5, 8, so then 12 for $100, that is $1,200. So plus $1,200 is $6,100. But wait, how much did we spend on crickets? That's exactly my point, folks. I mean, these are definitely my passion projects. I absolutely love. I have a passion for tokay geckos. However, feeding the tokay geckos and with everything they need, I don't make money, I actually lose a substantial amount of money with my tokay geckos versus my other projects. So this is really where the passion versus business aspect comes into play. If we can take crested geckos, for example, I have a couple of crested gecko breeders. I believe if I have 3. Crested gecko food probably costs me around $200 annually. You know, you get the pound of food for 50 bucks. It lasts you like 3 or 4 months. So let's say that with $200 for food, the bins themselves cost about 20 bucks each. So that's an extra $200. We'll add that on. So now we're up to, let's just say $500. And, I don't think crested geckos really need that much else. Okay, so $800 full. I'm just gonna attack numbers on snake math. You know, $800 is really out there. I probably don't spend $800 on my crested geckos. Of course, this isn't including the breeders themselves, but we're just talking about annual costs. So crested geckos lay around 10 to 14 eggs a season. I usually get around 8 to 12 eggs myself. So let's go with the low park number. We got 3 females breeding 8 eggs. That's 8, 16, 24. I sell those babies for $150 to $200. That is... Okay, 24 times 150, we'll middle them. So 24 crested gecko babies. 24 crested gecko babies times an average price of $150 leaves me with $3,600. So you subtract that with the 800 and congratulations, I made $2,400. That's the gist of what I'm getting at, really what you need to take into account. Now, while I make more money off my tokay geckos, my overhead prices are a lot higher than with my crested geckos. So I actually make more money breeding crested geckos than I do tokay geckos, even though I have a lot more tokay geckos in me. Hey, my passion is the tokay geckos, but my business is the crested geckos, and that's really what I'm trying to get at. Now, while I love tokay geckos and I wish I could do only tokay geckos, my business would fail. I would lose money. I wouldn't be able to do this full time. I'm going to need projects that I'm thinking with a business sense that can keep this business afloat while I work with the projects that I love. I know people hate to hear that. People absolutely hate when you bring money into reptiles or any animal. However, it's a reptile business you need to think about the money. You can't just goof off and be like, hey, I love tokay geckos, I'll breed them and I'll make money. You're gonna fail. That's the reality of it. But hey, moving on, we still got a little bit more to talk about, and that's going to bring us to topic number 3, choosing the right breeders. Alrighty, so now you figured out really what you want your niche to be. You figured out how you want to structure your business versus that personal versus a business standpoint. Now it's time to get into the next topic, which is choosing the correct breeder. Here's the thing. When choosing the right breeder, here's really what the mark you want to go with. Get the most expensive animal you can possibly afford. So I would try to get the most expensive animal, save that money, and then try to double it and then get that animal. Now, while the reptile business is a very lucrative thing, bringing in $1.3 million or whatever they say on Google, I don't know how they're doing that math, but I'm pretty sure Google does snake math for reptile business like ball python people do it for their eggs. But with that being said, it is a very saturated market, especially with some of the beginners out there, ball pythons, crested geckos. I'm looking at you, crested geckos mainly. Crested geckos, dear God. While you can make money with crested geckos, good luck getting out there in order to sell the crested geckos. There are hella people breeding crested geckos right now, and most people aren't doing it as a business. Most people are doing it as just a fun little thing to do. With that being said, they're not taking it as a business standpoint. They're not evaluating the market. They're not keeping up with market pricing because hobbyists don't really give a shit about the market because they're just there to have fun, and that's cool. I don't mind that. What I do mind is when you take a $200 marketable gecko and you sell it for $60, diluting that market because, hey, why would I buy a $200 gecko with you when I can go to her or him and get that same gecko for $60? See the issue here? That is why you want to branch out and be up on the crowd. You don't want to start out with everyone else getting the $200, $300, $500 gecko. You're not going to get anywhere with it. If you really want to take this business seriously, I would honestly try to get the most expensive babies you can get. Get a pair of little babies for $12, $15, $200, or $2,000, grow them out, and then start breeding. Then in 3 years, you're gonna have some nice geckos. You're gonna stand out from the crowd, and you're gonna be able to sell those animals instead of being stuck with these mediocre, mid-tier, $500 geckos that pretty much everyone else has. You're on that line with everyone else, and now you're just pushing to try to sell your stock. Hey man, I get it. I was an impatient guy when I first started my business. I wanted to get the ready to breed gals. I wanted to breed geckos and sell geckos. That was my dream. However, it was difficult for me. Starting out, I did what I just said you don't do, and I got the mediocre geckos, and I bred them, and then I ended up with 14 geckos, and then that year I sold 1 gecko. Following year, I sold 3 geckos for the whole year. So I continued breeding, so I had a giant overflow of, I believe, 20 to 22 geckos. Meanwhile, I was selling 1 to 3 a year for my first couple of years. It's the main reason why you hear people say you're not a real reptile breeder until you make it into 3 years or a real reptile business. Most people drop out between the 1 to 3 year span. They realize, I can't sell my stock, I can't do this, I have too many geckos, I don't know, I'm just getting rid of everything. Sell, sell, sell. What happened? I thought you could make easy money with reptiles. Well, that guy probably didn't watch this video right here. But alright, I think that's enough of a rant on why crested geckos are a saturated market and why I really hate them. But moving on, let's get into the last topic at hand before we wrap this video up, and that is going to be number 4, using social media to branch out your business. It is the 21st century, people. You are not gonna get anywhere if you are just breeding reptiles and posting them on fauna or kingsnake.com. This ain't 1990 anymore, it's 2021. We use Facebook now. Except Facebook hates us. Now, using social media is a great tool to push yourself above the average person. If you have a nice Facebook page, a nice Instagram page, YouTube page, whatever it may be, you can branch out from the average person. Look at this guy, he's a Facebook page, he has 1,200 likes. So this guy must be a reputable person. Let's go to him instead of the person that has 20 likes. That seems like a bit of a sketchy place. Oh, look at this guy's Instagram. He's got hella followers. I want to be a cool kid like him, so I'm gonna buy his reptile. YouTube is a great tool to branch yourself out and create your own business. You create a character, a persona going into this so people have a better understanding of who the person is behind the business. People seem to be more intact to buy reptiles than people that are YouTubers because they kind of, from a sense, know who they are because they see them on videos. Like, for instance, so me, I have 10,000 subscribers. Am I gonna fuck someone over? Am I gonna scam someone and then risk them coming to me and being like, wow, this guy scammed me, don't follow him? That just makes no sense. Like I said, it's a great way to branch out. Now people kind of, they have the persona, you know, you have a little little bit more of a reputable standing with the average customer just because of the fact that you have somewhat of a following. I don't know why. Numbers on a page seem to make people more comfortable with buying reptiles for you. That's just how, what is it? Not socialism. It's psychology and, sociology. That's just, I don't know where I'm going with this. General gist of it is get on as many social media pages as you can. The more social media you are, the more presence you have on every social media site, the better chance you're gonna have a customer come in and wanting to buy an animal for you. I mean, hell man, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. I guess I'm not really. I have a personal Snapchat that I post my cute baby rats at. That's pretty cool. Morph Market, everything. Just get on everything. You'll have a better chance of selling babies. That is the gist I'm saying right now. All right, guys, I'm getting kind of tired. It's like 90 degrees outside, and again, I'm in like the New England area, so it was like 70 yesterday, and now it's 90s, so I'm like getting delirious. So we are gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if this video helped. It was kind of just more of a ramble than a really structured piece, but hey, that's how I do life, and that's how I make videos. Deal with it. If you have any questions or any business tips you'd like to add to this video, make sure to drop them in the comment section. Of course, if you haven't gotten enough of this DVCB Exotics video goodness, if you want to see some more of my face, I mean, we got some stuff, man. We got some playlists, we got some awesome videos. Right down here is where you hit that subscribe button, which I would really appreciate. And yeah, that is going to wrap it up, folks. Thank you so much for coming. Goodbye.